Good morning, students. So yesterday we covered second unit, we moved to the unit that is effort estimation and activity planning. So only 22 members are joined. So all of you, only 23 members are joined. So I'm waiting for the other people to join. So today we discussed about effort estimation and activity planning, that is third unit. In this we have discussion about effort estimation, and then we move to the software effort estimation techniques, different techniques. Then we discussed about. Then we move to the top-down approach and parametric model. Then we discussed about bottom-up approach, expert judgment, and expert by analog, and also uh, object function point analysis. We discussed. Okay, Albrecht function point analysis. Then we move to the IFPUG. Then we discuss today function point Mark II. Then we divide. Then we discuss about cosmic. Then COCOMO. So that is about all effort effort estimations. Okay, today we discuss the discussion about effort estimation. So see here, here effort estimation. So this is effort estimation. See, Mr. Barry Boehm in his classwork on software effort models identify the main way of deriving estimation of software development efforts. So these are the different software effort estimation techniques. Okay, so here Barry Boehm with his classwork identified several ways to estimate the software development effort. So those are algorithm or parametric model and analog model, then expert judgment and Parkinson, price to win, top down approach and bottom up approach. Okay, so these are the techniques for effort estimation. Okay, so uh, so we move to first one, an algorithm or parametric model. So we use algorithms and effort drives representing the characteristics of a target. So see here, which we use effort drivers representing when we are using which we use effort drivers representing characteristics of the target system and the implementation environment to predict effort. Okay, so it provides the environment to predict effort. Then move to uh, analog. So then move to the analog model. So where the similar completed project is identified and basing on that we estimate the actual effort. Okay. So basing on that we have to estimate the actual effort. Then move to the expert judgment. Here we estimate the effort basing on the advice of the expected and knowledge staff. So here we estimate the effort by taking the advice of the expected and knowledgeable staff. Then we move to Parkinson. So here the available staff to do the project becomes the estimate. That is called as a Parkinson, which identifies the staff effort available to project and use that as the estimate. Then we move to price to win, where the estimate is a figure that appears to be sufficiently low to win a contract. Okay, so that is price to win. Then we move to top down. Here the whole project is broken down into number of tasks and estimation is carried out for each individual task. We have to calculate each individual task estimation. Okay, then last one, bottom up approach. So the tasks are identified and these individual estimates are aggregated in this after in this the task, what is the task we perform all are identified and these are individually estimates are aggregated. Okay, so then we move to the top down approach and parametric model. So the top down approach is normally associated with the parametric model. Okay, so we already discussed about algorithmic or parametric model. This is algorithmic parametric model which use effort drivers representing the characteristics of the target system. Okay, so here the top-down approach is normally associated with the parametric model. For example, the house owner needs the insurance coverage of his destroyed property. Okay, so the insurance company produce convenient tables to give the estimation of house considering the parameters such as floor space of the house and remaining related to the house, etc. All these are they are taken under the estimation of the house, space of the house, and how many rooms are there. These are related to the house, and what is the length of the bedroom and what is the length of the hall, how many bedrooms are there. So overall estimation they have to estimate. So this is simply a parametric model. Okay, this is simply a parametric model. So in software, it relates with the characteristics of the final system. So in software, it relates with the characteristics of the final system. So parametric model gives the formula here. So we have to calculate. See here we have to calculate effort. How we calculate effort means system size into productivity rate. Okay, we calculate with system size into productivity rate. So the system size is represented in the form of KLOC. We represent in the form of KLOC means thousands of lines of code. K means thousands of lines of code. Okay, so for a specific model which has two components, the first is the amount of work needed and the second is the rate of work which the task can be done. So here two components, first the amount of work needed, okay, and the second one is the rate of work at which the task can be done. So see here for example, so some name Amanda. Amanda estimates a module to be complete as 2K LOC, and he assessed a rate of 40 days per KLOC, and to complete the work it takes 80 days. Okay. So, and another one, Ken, who is less experienced, would need only 55 days per KLOC. So KLOC I already told you, that is we have here estimates 2. So 2 into 55, that is they need 110 days to complete the task. So in this case, KLOC is the size driven and indicating the amount of work to be done. So here KLOC means size driven. So already they gave 55 days per KLOC, that equal to 2 into 55, then 110 days. So here we have to calculate the productivity. So productivity is effort by system size. Okay, how we calculate is productivity means effort by systems. Already we have system size and you gave the effort. So it is the small example. Then we move to bottom up approach. So see here the project is broken down into number of tasks. So each task is decomposed into number of subtasks. So here we break the tasks into different or number of subtasks. Okay, this is repeated until you get the task for individual. So this process is repeated until you get the task for each individual. So here the bottom up, here the bottom up part comes in adding up the calculated effort for each task to get our estimate. And this bottom up approach describes the envisages the number and the type of software module to the final system. So it calculates the number and the type of software module to the final system, and also estimates the work content, taking into account complexity and technical difficulty. It also see the account complexity and technical difficulty, and also in this calculate the work days effort. So that is about bottom up approach. Then we move to the expert judgment. So this is asking about estimate to task from someone who is knowledgeable about the application or development environment. So the estimator would examine the existing code in order to judge the portion of the code can be derived or not. He estimate would examine, okay, that code is derived or not, and someone who is familiar with the software would be the best to do this. So they know about the code only, he will do that it is derived or not, okay. And some suggested that expert judgment is simply a matter of guessing, but research shows that expert uses analog approach, that is checking the similar project from the past. Okay, so that is the checking the similar project from the past. So then move to the estimating by analog. This is also called case-based reasoning. Also called case-based reasoning. So here estimator identifies completed projects with the similar characteristics of the new project. They have to estimate the completed project with the new project. Any coincidence occurring or not, they have to estimate. And here the estimator then identifies a difference between the target and the source and adjust the base estimate to produce an estimate for new project. So here estimator take that also, here estimator identify difference between the target and the source. So then we move to Albrecht function point. Okay, so Albrecht function point. The Alan J. Albrecht proposed the function point in the year 1999 at IBM. So it is the functional size measurement. It is used for functional size measurement. So it accesses the functionalities delivered to the user on the external view. So it accesses the functionalities delivered to the user on the external view. So it refers to the logical view rather than the physical view. So logical view rather than the physical view. So see here. So here functional point analysis. Here FPA is a functional point analysis is a tool that determines the size of the project by counting the functions rather than the lines of code or programming languages. So see here FPA is a tool that determines the size of the project. So by counting the function rather than the lines of the code or programming language. So it checks whether the function matches the requirements. So it checks the function matches the requirements or not. So it consists of 5 major components. So the functional point consists of 5 major components. First one, external input type, then external output types and external inquiry types, logical internal file type, external interface file types. So So the external, see here the external input type. So these are input transaction which update internal computer files. So these are the input transaction which update the internal computer files. Okay. Then external output file. So here external output files are transactions where data is output to the user. So typically these would be printed, these would be printed reports, as screen displays would tend to come under external inquiry type. So these are the output means these are the printed reports. Okay. So the output type means these are the transactions where the data is output to the user. Then we move to the external inquiry types. So the transaction user provides the information but do not update the internal file. Okay. See here the transaction user provides the information, but this is external inquiry file means the transaction user provides the information but do not update the internal file. You only give the information about the file. I will not give any updates in that file. Then we move to the logical internal file type. So logical internal file types are standing files used by the system. So the term file does not sit easily with modern information system. It refers to a group of data that is usually accessed together. Okay. So for example, a purchase order with a second item is represent for number of items. So it is stored in database and is displayed as frequently purchased item together to the external user. That is the example. So for example, so purchase order, we have take a record type purchase order. So a second which is repeated for each item order on the purchase order is purchase ordered item. Okay. First we have to choose purchase order, then we have to second we repeat is purchase order item. Okay. So then we move to the external interface file system. I will explain all this with an example, don't worry. This allows for output and input that may pass to and from the computer applications. Okay. So this allows output and input to and from the computer application. That is called as external internal file type. So example, accounting data from main ledger system. Okay. Example, accounting data from the main ledger system. So transferring data from account to account. So all this comes under accounting. So external internal file example, accounting data from main ledger system and transferring data from account to account. All this comes under, and so on. All this comes under external interface file system. And here each component is classified as having either high. So here each either external input or external output. These five either classified having either high, average or low complexity. So this is the chart given by the Albert functional Albert complexity multiplier. This is the chart given by the Albert. Okay, this is the chart. So he give multipliers means that is either low or average or high. This is the external user type. It is an input type. If the external input type, if the external input type is low, it multiplier is 3. If the it 4, it is multiplier with 4. If high average, it is multiplier with 4. If high, we multiply with 6. If the same way the external output type is low, then the multiplier with 4, average multiplier with 5, high with multiplier with 7, and internal file low 7 multiplier, average 10. We have to multiply with these values. So similarly 5, 7, 10 for low, average, height, and also for external inquiry time we have to multiply with the low 3, average 4, and high 6. So this chart given by Albrecht complexity multiplier. So we are using this chart. Okay. So see here example. So see here, we use here to understand about chart. So see here IFPUG. So IFPUG means International Function Point User Group. So call it as International Function Point User Group. So they derived few rules to decide the complexity level of the project. So these are used to know the complexity of the project. So this is decided from this will decide from Albrecht complexity multiplier table. So see here number of record type is 1, so less than 20 we give here. Data types is low, number of data types less than 20 we give low. So 20 to 50 we give low, and greater than 20 we give average. So the average where we are taken from the Albrecht complexity multiple table. If the number of record types 2 to 5 and the number of data types low, less than 20 low, and 20 to 50 average, and greater than 50 high here. If the number of record types is greater than 5, here average less than 20, 20 to 50 high, and greater than 50 is also high. So to better understanding, see here example. So a file may contain the data about the purchase order, and the purchase order might be organized into two types. One is purchase order and the another one is purchase order item. So here purchase order details means here data types are in purchase order we contains order number, supplier reference, and order date. So okay, in purchase order we have the data types are order number, supplies reference, and ordered date. And when we move to the purchase order item, it specifies product name, price, and the cost of the product, and the number of items ordered. So all these comes under purchase order item. One is product name, then price, and the third one is number of item order. So see here the number of record types are two. One is purchase order, another one is purchase ordered item. Okay, so the data types for each one is in purchase order is 3. One is order number, specific reference, another is order date. So 3, and the purchase order item has product name, price, and the item model. So 3. So overall data type is 3 into 3. So here 3 here. So 3 into 3 is 6. Okay. So according to the table here, see here. So according to table, the file type would be low. Okay. So the file type would be low because less than 20. We have only number of records is here 2. So 2 to 5. Our value is 6. 3 into 3 6. So less than 20. So it is low. Like this we have to calculate. So all of you clear? So first we have to know number of records. How many number of record types are there, and then we have to take the number of data types. We have to count the number of data types in there. Then we have to check the number of records greater than 5. We have to take this IFPUG file type complexity. Okay. So far clear or any doubt? Then we move to next topic. So next one is function point 2. Okay. So in this function point mark 2, this is proposed by CCTA, that is Central Computer Telecommunication Agency. So CCTA, this is proposed by CCTA, that is Central Computer Telecommunication Agency, which is the official method used and implemented in UK. So this is the method to implemented in used and implemented in UK. So here, see here from user input and also data process, data store. Then we move to the output, return to the user. Now how to store the data in data store. So this is model of transaction. So here each transaction, the UFPS are for each transaction. Here UFPS are calculated. For each transaction, UFPS are calculated. So UFPS means unadjusted function points. Unadjusted function points. So here, see here, WI is the number of input data elements plus WE number of entity types referenced, and WO number of output data elements types. So here WI, WE and WO are the weights derived for the project for developing the code, accessing and modifying the code, and processing the output. So these are the developing the code, and these are the weights of developing the code, accessing and modifying the code, and processing the output. So for example, a cash receipt transaction has two entity types, invoice and cash receipt. Okay, so the data inputs are invoice number and data received and cash received. Okay, so data inputs are invoice number, data received and cash received. So here the average heights are 0.58 for WI and 1.66 for WE, and we are taking some example with assuming values, and 0.26 for WO. So the transaction for the, therefore the transaction is, so here number of input data elements are 3. So 2 entities means inverse. So data input data elements are, I have already told you, 3. That is invoice number, data received and cash 3, and a number of entities referred is 2, that is invoice and cash receipt, and the output is always 1. So that is our formula. So we have to calculate here 0.53 into number of input data elements is 3 plus 1.66 into number of entity types referred is 2 and 0.26 into 1. So that is 5.32. Okay, understand? So we are assuming the values here. So we are assuming the values here. WI equal to 0.58 into, so 3 items, so we calculate 3 plus WE. So WE equal to 1.66 into 2, that is invoice and cash receipt, and then WO equal to plus WO equal to 0.26 into 1. So that equal to 5.32. So that's why we calculated here each transaction UFPS. So this is UFPS is 5.32. Okay, clear? So then we move to the next topic, cosmic full function points. Okay, so here cosmic full function points, cosmic means common software measurement consortium. Okay, cosmic means common. Okay, so cosmic means common software measurement consortium. Okay, so that is we call it as a cosmic full function point. So see here, it was developed in Canada. Cosmic deals with deals by decomposing the system into hierarchy of software layers. Here cosmic deals with the cosmic model deals by decomposing the system into hierarchy of software layers. So cosmic model is helpful in real-time and embedded applications. So this is helpful in real-time and embedded applications, and inputs and outputs are aggregated into data groups. So these input and output are aggregated into data groups. So the data groups are classified into 4 ways. Entries represent capital E and exit capital X, read W, capital R, and write capital W. So here the entries, here the subprocess moves the data group into the software component, that is entry. So entry work is the subprocess moves the data group into the software component. Then exit, here the subprocess moves the data group from the, here also the subprocess moves the data group from the exit. Okay, so here entries which are affected by the subprocessor that moves data into data group into the software component in a question from a user outside its boundary. So this could be from another layer, another separate software component in the same layer via peer-to-peer communication. Then exist X which are affected by subprocess that move data group from the software component to a user outside its boundary. Okay, then reads are which are data movements that move data groups from persistent storage such as database into software component. Okay, then write we which are data movements that transfer data groups from software component into persistent storage. Okay, so these are the data groups. 4 data groups are classified here. Clear? For example, see here, a small computer system controls the entry of vehicles into a car park. Okay, for example, a small computer controls the entry of vehicles to a car park. So, so each time a vehicle pulls at entry and the sensor notifies the computer system of vehicle presence. Okay, the system examines the count and it maintains the number of vehicles. Okay, so if the count does not exceed the maximum, then the barrier is lifted and the count is incremented. Okay, so when the vehicle when the vehicle car parking and the sensor detects the exit and reduce the count of vehicles. So when they are exist and the decrease, then the count decrease the reduce the count of vehicle. This is the real-time embedded software applications. Okay, so this is a real-time system where it sets the maximum number of cars allowed and it identifies the entry, exit, read, write in this application. So it identifies the entries, exits, read and write in this application. Understand? So this is about cosmic full function point. Then we move to the next topic, COCOMO. So it is a constructive cost model. COCOMO means constructive cost model. This is used for estimating time, cost and effort. So this is used for estimating time, cost and effort. COCOMO is proposed by Barry Boehm in late 1970s after the study of his 63 projects. So this is a procedural software cost estimation model. So the basic model was built around the equation, CR equation, effort equal to C into size power K, where effort measured in person per month. Here size is measured in KDSI, that is nothing but thousands of delivered source code instructions. So KDSI, that is nothing but thousands of delivered source code instruction, where C here in C and K are constants. Here C and K are constants. In COCOMO, the system is classified into 3 ways. So the Boehm termed them as organic mode, embedded mode and semi-detached mode. So in organic mode, this is typically with small teams, less complex project, which generally consists of 2 to 50 KLOC. For example, payroll system. So payroll system is for an employee point of view, for staff point of view, in time, out time, and also how many hours you work. That is comes under payroll of the system. Then we move to embedded mode. This means typically with very large teams, with high complexity and with very high constraints. Okay, generally more than 300 KLOC. So example, real-time applications like ATM. So we use here ATM. Example is ATM in embedded mode, and organic mode is payroll system. Then we move to the semi-detached mode. So this is a combination of both organic and embedded. It has medium level teams with average complexity. That is example is database system. So in banking, database system is a example of semi-detached mode. So here see the table here, COCOMO constraints, system type organic 2.4, K is 1.05, semi-detached 3.0, 1.12, and embedded 3.6, K is 1.20. So this is for exponent value when it is greater than 1 means the larger projects on screen as requiring more opportunities than the smaller one. So when the greater than 1 means more proportions than the smaller one, requiring more proportions than the smaller one. When Barenboim derived COCOMO 2 after the study of 163 projects with various multiplier exponents, constant values which were initially set by the project. So that is about COCOMO. Okay. So far clear. So see here the exponent value k when it is greater than 1 means the larger projects are seen as requiring disproportionately more effort than smaller ones. So this reflect Boehm's finding the largest project tended to be less productive than the smaller project than the smaller ones because they need more effort for management and coordination. See here the basic COCOMO model to line a figure. See here. Okay, understand here. Here we calculated where effort was measured in PM, mean nothing person months. So effort was calculated. Measured in KDSI. So KDSI means see here KDSI means the thousands of delivered source code instruction and CNK were constants. Okay, clear? Constant. Okay, so far clear or any doubt? Any doubt? Please write a message in chat box. Please write a message in chat box. The formulas are understand. Okay, you have to remember these formulas if you have to calculate effort with system size and productivity rate. So productivity equal to effort by systems. And for example, the size might be in the form of KLOC. Okay, means thousands of lines of code. You also see the Albert-Chet complexity multipliers table. Okay. So you have to see this table. If any doubt, please write a message. This will calculate. I already explained with an example how we calculate this. This is the example of the purchase order and the purchase order item. To calculate if the less than, we got the low because we had 2 years 2 to 5 and the number of data types, record types is number of data types less than means less than 20, we get low value. So then we move to the function point mark 2. So you have to remember the formula, number of input data types, WI, WE, multiples of WI, WE and WO. So number of input data elements plus number of entity types referred plus number of output data elements. So all you have to remember all this. So anybody has any doubt, please write a message in chat box. Otherwise today I am ending the session.